Kali Reis, who the fight's on Friday, but this Saturday night live on Impact, not live on Impact Television, but this Saturday night on Impact Television, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Your fight for the WBA Super Lightweight Championship against Kandi Wyatt will be on live. How's everything going?
Everything's going real well. Feeling good, feeling strong, feeling ready. Everything's on schedule, focused, and I'm excited to fight on Friday. It's been a long time.
So talk about this fight with Kandi Wyatt. It's for the WBA Super Lightweight Championship. What are your thoughts on her?
She's just another opponent in my way of becoming a world champion again. I mean, I know she's training hard and she comes to fight. She throws a lot of punches, but I am so confident in my team and our plan, our game plan, and we make sure we do everything we can on our end to make sure that we had the best show up that night. So hopefully she's doing the same.
What do you know about her? I know she's from Canada, and she's 10-1, and is that all you know, or what can you tell me about her?
No, I know Kandi Wyatt actually personally. I was there in attendance when Christina Lonachado fought for the WB World Title against her in Greece. I was actually in Christina's corner, and she's actually my teammate as well. So I do know of her. She's in a weight class that I'm fighting in, so I did do my research on her. I know she comes to fight. She comes to throw a million punches in a round. I also know she has a good record, and she's going to want what's already mine. So I'm just planning on sticking to the game plan, and it's going to be a fun night.
Talk about, obviously, you're very experienced at this high level. I mean, obviously, the fight, everyone saw you with Breakhouse. You won world championships at 160 pounds, a WBC champion. And how much is experience play into this fight on this coming Friday and for people to watch Saturday night on Impact Television?
Well, experience builds wisdom, and I've had plenty of experience. I've been professional for 11 plus years now, and I've been in the game for almost 20 years. And just the experience of having to go to all these different countries, fighting these world champions, having unification bouts from 160 to 154 to 147, the experience alone, I built a lot of wisdom, and I've retained a lot of information and knowledge too. So that alone, right there, I'm right at home on the big stage. She left Canada one time and she lost. She took a devastating loss. Again, I don't put anything past, or I don't hold any opponent at a level. I don't put anything past any opponent. So I train just as hard, but I know she's not ready for what I'm about to hand to her. And I also know the experience wise, she hasn't had half or the fraction experience I've had, fighting opponents in Canada from Mexico that have, no offense to her or her opponents, but the experience alone, just the people I fought alone with their records, it doesn't even come close to what I have. So hopefully she's ready.
This fight obviously is for the 140-pound world championship. We mentioned that you've fought, you were a 160-pound world champion. Coming down, I know it's been gradual because I know you've been fighting at lower weights. Coming all the way down to 140 pounds, what's that been like?
Been like eating a bowl of cucumbers. It's actually, I'm a professional athlete and I'm professional number one. So when I sign a contract for whatever weight it is, I make sure I do the best. Make the weight the best way I can to make sure I perform the best way I can. So when I was fighting at 160, I had no promoter, no manager, and I was taking fights, getting the call, hey, can somebody go to Spain with me? Fighting at 160 or 154. I'm a small middleweight. I'm shorter, I'm smaller, but I can hang and I can bang with the middleweight. So it was good experience. And, if it makes dollars and it makes sense for my team and I to go back up there, which I don't foresee because I'm very, very comfortable at 147 and 154 and 140 now. But it wasn't, it's not the most fun camp. Like it's not, cutting weight isn't the most fun thing, but like I said, I'm a professional first. So we just did it the way we needed to do. And I've never been this small, but we'll see what happens.
For anyone watching out there, they want to leave a comment, ask Kaylee a question. Like Marianne Owen, our good friend out in Las Vegas, says you're a very talented fighter, and she also loves your ring entrances. I've seen some of your fights. Obviously, you pay homage to your Native American background. To talk about the thought process in your ring entrances.
Well, I mean, starting off with boxing, it started off, as an outlet, and I was really young. I needed something to get my energy in, and it started off as like being a boxer, being a fighter, but as I kind of went along my journey, I found something and a reason way, way bigger than myself to fight for. You know, I'm a modern day warrior as a Native American, and just to be able to do what I love and the talents that I was blessed to do and use that positive energy. You know, nobody can tell you how to pray or where to pray, and especially with the Native culture, we all have gifts, we all have good medicine to give our people. So being a warrior right now and being able to kind of put a display of fighting, we have been doing as Indigenous people for centuries, is fighting, you know, fighting for our rights and fighting for our people. So it's awesome to be able to operate and understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. It's not just left hooks and right hands. It's not just fighting. It's not just Instagram and Facebook's likes. It's for people that I have in me that really believe in me, and also to be the spokesperson and the visual for people that get no media coverage and an oppressed people that people forget about. You know, when you mention Native American or Indian, people look at me and go, oh, wait, you guys are still around? I thought you was extinct. Like people, like we're dinosaurs or something. So to be able to represent a whole nation of people and let people know that we are still here, we are still strong, still doing things that we need to do. We are still strong in our culture. Our heritage has gotten passed down. It's an honor for me to be able to have a ceremonial type entrance when I enter into that square circle, and to send up my prayers to my creator, and also kick some butt while I'm doing it. It's really, really important to me to remember where I come from, remember who I come from, what my lineage is, and that warrior spirit, why I'm even fighting, why I even want to fight, or why I even have the talent to fight. Is just really important, and I love that I can incorporate that into something that we can see and understand.
As we take a look at some of your training footage, I was in the gym with you guys last week for a little bit. Talk about that for a second. How much does that, you know, especially you're walking the ring, and I've seen it's a very elaborate and very, you know, like you said, pay homage to your roots. How much does that get you up, you know, for the fight that's about to start, you know, five minutes afterwards?
It's like I said, it's a ceremonial type feel, and especially when I'm home and I'm able to have, you know, people around me, you know, drumming, my own circle, my own people, and the dance, and what the drum is and the dance signifies. It's a ceremonial. It's just like hearing your favorite song, or thinking about your favorite person, or maybe thinking about that moment that gets you hyped. It gives me the same feeling, and it just, even though I'm in there by myself and it's a solo, I just feel, you know, the energy of my people and the reason why I'm even fighting, and my ancestors in there. So it's like a hype feeling. I mean, I don't even hear or see anything else but that feeling, that energy in it. It's really intense. So I love it.
We just, like I said, we showed the training footage. You trained in Philadelphia. I know you've trained in Philadelphia for your last handful of fights, and you've trained a lot down here. Talk about, you know, obviously Philadelphia is known for gym wars with the male athletes from over the years. Talk about the type of work that you get down here for, you know, for yourself as we lead into this fight that'll be seen on Impact Network on Saturday night.
Well, like I said, my team and I always have a game plan, and I totally trust what they say, the recommendations. So I get provided the best sparring possible. I kind of ran out of female sparring partners in my last camp. You know, people wanted to come and try to work, and it didn't work. So we just kind of, whatever we have to work on in the camp, depending on the style of fighter we're fighting, or what we need to work on myself and fine tune with myself. We have plenty of talented young fighters, male fighters and female fighters here. So I'm provided with, you know, bigger, smaller, fast, hard, punching hard, moves the head. You know, I mean, I'm provided with all kinds of work here. So as well as back home, but this is camp. This is, you know, I'm in the doghouse when I'm there. So I love it.
This fight again for the WBA Super Lightweight Championship. I know of fighters at 140, 147 pounds. And again, Marianne asked another question. She is obviously the fight with Breakhouse. You looking for a rematch with her at some point?
I've been looking for a rematch. She ain't even trying to look my way. We already tried. We made videos. We talked. We emailed. We smoke signal, pigeon, snail mail, all that. I've been here. I ain't going nowhere. I want the rematch. She lost to Jessica McCaskill. I mean, I still want the rematch. That'd be great. If they have to rematch, I'll take the winner of that, because I already stated like a year or two ago I'd love to fight Jessica McCaskill, but now she's holding something that's mine, so I'd love to fight her too. But you're asking the wrong person. Rebecca said she wanted the rematch. She said, let's do a rematch, and you ducking. So
I'm just asking the questions that the people out there are asking. It's not me. Like we mentioned, 160 now 140 in a perfect world. Kaylee, if I would say which weight, because obviously there's 4 weight classes between 40 and 60. In a perfect world, where would you look? What's your perfect weight?
47. I love welterweight. I mean, it's not, like I said, the weight cut down to 140 wasn't tough. It's not my favorite. It's a little cold, but I feel so comfortable, strong and fast at 47. I still feel strong dropping down to 40. Like I said, I don't see a reason to go back up to 60 or even unless there was like a catch weight title worth getting. I would love to rematch McHenna Gabriel. She's at 54. I'd like that fight again. Raquel Miller, a catch weight. I'd like that fight with her. So if it makes dollars and it makes sense skill wise, I'm not going to take a 54 with the 0-14 person. It doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? Especially fighting elite level. But 47 is like my bread and butter.
What did you think? Obviously, there's a lot of female fighters now. This one's going to be the headline fight on Impact Network this Saturday night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. A lot of female fights now are being at the top of cards now. What are your thoughts on that? And, I think the game has come a long way with especially with a lot of quality girls are now, like I said, headlining cards and being at the top of, headline co-main events.
I think it's great. It's about time, and they're not showcasing a novelty fight anymore. They're showcasing actual skilled world title fights, and it's multiple. It's not odd to see, or it's not a special feature to see a female fight or multiple female fights on these cards that are promoted on these high-level networks, and it's great. The level of skill between 30, 160, amounts of matchups you can mix and match, especially with us having to go up or having to go down so much. There's so much competition, and the promoters and the networks are actually really doing some good by putting on those really, really good fights and keeping us moving and keeping us on card. So it's not so strange. We do need an all-female card, and I believe I smell that in the future. But I think it's great. It's going where it needs to go.
There are a couple good fights over the weekend. Esparza and Urbina was a good scrap on Friday night. Saturday, Savannah Marshall did what she had to do to try to line herself up for a fight with Clarissa Shields. So, did you watch those fights? And
yeah, it was from Friday to Saturday night. I almost didn't make it. There were so many good fights, and then I went back on the Bobby Juarez fight, and there was a lot of good fights, man. Especially, like I said, a very competitive, very highly skilled fights. Even the undercards, I think a female made her pro debut at 122. I mean, she fought somebody that wasn't, up to par, but at least they put her on. You know what I mean? It was something that somebody else, so people could watch. So I watched all the fights.
Did you? I mean, the big news this week was the Gervonta Davis fight. Did you watch that? And what did you think of that uppercut?
Wow. Now see, everybody's setting the bar high for me. I got like a lot of side bets to match all these fights. I had gotten asked who I had in that fight, and I'm just a boxing fan, so I love watching boxing fights. Anything can happen, but I was telling everybody, hands down, Tank, he's a problem, and he did his job. I think Santa Cruz is an excellent fighter as well, but he just did what he had to do, and he was very smart in his punch selection. It was a good scrap up until it wasn't, and I mean, big ups to both men in there, but he chose his punches and his footwork and everything so nice, so nice.
You're managed by Brian Cohen, who I always call. My nickname for him is the preeminent women's manager, female boxing manager. And he really cares for his fighters. He literally fights for his fighters. What's it like to be, managed by him?
It's like nothing I ever even imagined it could be. I mean, like I said, I had a career with no manager, no at all. Funny story, I him in 2012, and he didn't answer me. That's when he was managing Melissa Hernandez, and when I was coming up in the pro ranks, Melissa Hernandez was somebody, and still somebody I love to watch. Monica Jeffries, I love to watch. I knew he kind of hung around stars, and being managed by him is not only, number one, he was a fighter, so he understands. Number two, he's a businessman. He knows the boxing business, and he cares. So it's like a relationship. relationship. It's a friendship. It's a, you know what I mean? He really cares. It's not just the business. It's not just signing contracts or just sending you contracts. He is very transparent, everything that goes on. So the communication is key, and he's there every step of the way, cutting up bowls of cucumbers. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better manager or friend at all. I would never, ever want to get managed by anybody in anything. So if I ever do anything else, he'd be managing that too.
I would imagine, he manages, like I said, 20, 25 girls. You probably built some friendships with some of these girls, which, as female fighters, you probably, need to call a couple of them. You guys bounce, what's going on in your head and ideas off each other. So I'm sure you've built some friendships and camaraderie with some of his other fighters.
Absolutely. It's nice to have other females that I could talk to boxing about. Some are into it a little bit more than others, but I mean, it's awesome to have, we have a couple of females in camp together. So we all know, especially going through female things, that, we can kind of confide in one another or just have those connections that otherwise maybe I would have not talked to these females in the game that, he manages basically all of us. So it's awesome to be able to talk to them, to pick their brain, to be able to travel and see them fight. Also, we're all teammates, so I'm able to travel to see them fight and cheer them on. So it's fun.
It's terrific. And it's, great, obviously, being a Philadelphian, great to have you in our city as much as you're here. And it was a pleasure watching you guys train last weekend. I came down. I guess any last comments before we see you in the ring? Saturday night on Impact Network, 10:30 p.m. Eastern time.
First of all, my boxing soul must have been like born in Philadelphia, because I'm like such a Philly fighter. I felt at home since I first got here and first started training here. I mean, when we've trained back at home at Big Six Boxing Academy, we have a doghouse style training anyway. So it was a shock, but a good shock. And I fit so well here. Everybody tune in. I'm happy and I'm so honored and blessed to have the supporters that I have back home who watch, and also who will be there. You're gonna see a new K. I grow and I learn each and every fight. So you're gonna see a new WBA light welterweight champion crowned on Saturday. If you watch on the Impact Network, if you're there live, and you're gonna see me get crowned the new champ.
One more thing, you're talking about the Philly thing, and in the video we saw, you were going between Brian and Danny Davis. Danny, was in the camp with Bernard Hopkins for 20 plus years, and the knowledge, I'm sure, he passes on to you.
Danny Davis, man, what can I say? There's so much that could be said about Danny, man.
Well, hold on. This is a family show, so some of you probably can't say here.
I know, no, man, it's awesome, man. The bond that, like I said, the bond that we have as coach and fighter, it grows at camp. He's full of knowledge, and I learned something new like every day from that man. I mean, he understands the game. He's been around world champion. This is his actual real first world champion as a female that he's like built from the ground up. I mean, I had a really good foundation, and big ups to my coaches back home, but he's taken what I already had done pretty much at back home and to the next level that I needed to be, and had, he's been my coach. Like, he's my coach and I get my time. We are one-on-one, and it's meant the world to me, and it's made a world of difference. So I love that dude, man, for real. He's a funny guy.
And he keeps the tools good with those hand wraps.
Oh man, he's the best in the game. I'm not even saying that just to, but honestly, I've had my hands wrapped by a lot of people, and he's made these little paws. He protects these hands so well. He understands he knows every fighter's hands for their hands. He's the best hand wrapper in the game. And he does cuts, he does pad, he does everything. Anything you need, he does it.
So between him and Brian making the cucumbers, you're good to go.
I'm good. I don't have nothing. I don't have to do nothing. I don't have to talk junk. I don't have to wrap hands. I don't have to cut cucumbers. I just show up. That's what it's about, being an elite fighter.
And you're going to be doing that. And it's going to be on the Impact Network Saturday night at 10:30 p.m. You take on Kandi Wyatt. Where do we see you on the social media?
You can catch me on my Facebook, KO-Kali, Kali Reis, Reis. On my Instagram, KO_NDNBXR, like Indian boxer. And I'm starting to tweet a little more, so you can catch me on Twitter, KO_MOC86.
There you have it. Kali Reis Saturday night on the Impact Network, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Takes on Kandi Wyatt for the WBA Super Lightweight Championship of the World. Thank you for a few minutes of your time, and we'll see you. We'll see you Saturday night.
See you Friday night.
Friday night, and the rest of the world will see you Saturday night.